Okay, so what we're trying to do with TMM is to build a data picture of the entire telecoms market in any particular country, and in particular the relative strengths and weaknesses of each individual operator within that market. So we cover the mobile market, the fixed broadband market and the fixed voice market. For the mobile market, we look at the main 5 big operators and look at the relative market shares of those. We describe that market share in terms of subscribers, revenue and traffic. Similarly, for the fixed broadband markets, we again look at the top five operators and again look at the market share of those in terms of subscribers and revenue. And for the fixed voice, we are comparing the relative strengths of the incumbents in each of those markets. Now, the telecoms market matrix sounds and is a very data-heavy product, but we aren't just copying numbers and putting them in a spreadsheet and dishing them out to our clients. We're adding an awful lot more value than that. What we attempt to do is scrutinise the numbers as they're reported by the operators and make sure that the definitions used by in the reported data are consistent. Now, inevitably, what's reported is not consistent. Some operators report rolling ARPU, some report a standard monthly ARPU. So if you were to just compare those like with like, you wouldn't get a true comparison. I think probably the best example is the case of mobile subscribers. Some operators report registered subscribers, so anybody who's ever bought a SIM, and others will have 3-month active or 6-month active. You can't make a reasonable comparison between those two metrics if you're not comparing like with like, apples with apples, apples with oranges and so forth. So we standardise. Now, in the process of doing that, of course, we change the data from that which is published, and that's something which sometimes people find it a little bit hard to get their head around. They like to be able to see the numbers that they recognise as their own, but in order to make a reasonable comparison between operators, you have to have a level playing field and make sure that you are comparing like with like. However, we do also give, certainly for the mobile market, we actually provide the as published data as well, so that people can understand that we have collected the data correctly, but then we've adjusted it in order to make comparisons fair and reasonable. The other element that we do in terms of scrutinising the data is that we compare what the operators report with the data that's provided by regulators, and who by definition are likely to be looking at a total market. But quite often there's not an obvious stack up between what the operators report and what the regulator reports. So again, we delve into the definitions and try to get a good feel for exactly what the true market picture is. And by doing that process, we end up with a clear, holistic view of the telecoms market, which accurately describes the activity of each operator within that market.